Hey, let me remind you about what happened last time on the Incorrigible party.
Briefly reuniting in the Elder's Keep, Isabella allows Shaft to depart with Nina to get him out of the way. Shakara refuses to hand over the eyes of Dendar to the Grandmother Hag, utilizing her newly gifted serpent form once again to keep the eyes safe. But with two well-placed throws, Isabella's flesh golem stabbed Dendara with the tripod holders, activating the eyes in conjunction with the armor of Kalar.
And now, on with our show.
Dendara, creeping cold spreads throughout your entire body as if it originates from deep inside you, from your core, and starts to radiate these freezing waves to every... I guess you don't really have... you have extremities, but you don't have what you normally would think of as extremities, I suppose. But your muscles grow tight and ridges as you start to stave off a wave of shivers across you. Can you make me a Constitution saving throw, please?
18.
That is exactly what you needed to avoid becoming paralyzed from the
gosh.
cold. Jeez. What's kind of going through your mind right now, Dendar?
Just that I need to stop this from happening. I don't want this portal to open, so I'm going to have to do whatever I can to disrupt the plans.
Falzarin, as you're still currently blink-blunked to the ethereal plane, but as we had said before, you're kind of witnessing everything occurring on the material plane with about 60 feet of you in kind of shades of gray. But as the blue light of the triangle is activated, you see the tripods protruding from Dendara's scaled, elongated body, and clearly the glow illuminating from her and those apparatuses. But on your person, the iron token that Shakara gave to you also lights up, blue and cold in your hand, rapidly decreasing in temperature, cold enough to feel as if it was burning you. And you can kind of hear those surface thoughts of Shakara's, very faintly, as if you're catching the tail end of an echo.
Also, ow.
In the center of the triangle comprised of the blue beams of light, a rift appears from thin air, and it immediately starts to swell and expand to, just the size of a clenched fist or a softball. Maybe, I guess, a meaty fist, but softball sized. And you can hear howling winds, and those close enough can feel cold air filter into the courtyard from this blue void. All of that kind of barely audible over, the beating wings of the airship 20 feet above, and the growing hum of the charging weapon strapped to the deck of it. Of course, those that are deafened from the scythe being assembled cannot hear that. The rift's expansion, though, it looks like it's hampered and contained by this flaring red ring. It's as if somebody has drawn an outline around the opening. On initiative count 20, which I was calling legendary actions, but there actually were layer actions on initiative count 20. Isabella's gonna make an attack, which does mean the zombies will not be acting at her command to start off this round at least. But she raises the scythe of Limerick, and the blade's heat from its assembly kind of fading and cooling, but it flares up again, turning red hot once more, as red as the containment ring around the rift. And instead of swiping at Dendara, this time she swipes at that ring, kind of catching it with the blade, pulling with every corded muscle of her Annis Hag form. And for a moment, the ring looks as if it will stretch and contort against her efforts and remain intact, before it just snaps and shatters like glass into hundreds of red-hot pieces that fall to the stone floor. The void immediately expands to a 15 by 15 foot circle. And Mia, kind of from where you are, you're 15 feet to the right of it, essentially. You can see that the rift itself is two-dimensional. As the rift expands, Dendara, you hear the the Serpent Mother in your head.
My gift serves you well, my child. There is more to bestow upon you once I am free. You require invigoration. Say yes to your serpent mother and embrace my eyes. Embrace our connection and be made whole once more.
And the chilled winds from beyond the rift, now growing louder as more cold escapes from the void into the courtyard. What was blue, just a blue nothingness there before, kind of lifts like a fog clearing after the expansion, revealing the base of an expansive wall of ice, the boundaries of which, unseen through the narrow scope of the rift's opening, relative to the wall's size. Encased within it are three unmoving figures that, of course, Shakara has seen before. The first, the gargantuan, coiled, blue-scaled body of Dendar, the Serpent Mother, her dragon maw kind of slightly agape to reveal sharp teeth the size of a person, hollowed eye sockets staring at nothing with her missing ocular organs. Behind her in the ice is an enormous humanoid standing estimated 60 feet tall with this swollen, bulbous abdomen draped in the tatters of cloth and old clothing. Where his hands should be, protruding from the sallow skin of forearms, is a bone-white protrusion that kind of arcs into a sharp crescent-shaped curve. His left protrusion, though, has been severed near the stretches of forearm flesh. Dirty toenails on his bare feet have grown into claws of a similar kind of bone-white material. Fleshless, crystalline wings sprout from his back, and a deformed mouth is open in a scream, the lower jaw unhinged and stretched, showing additional rows of needle teeth. Completely white eyes are wide open, set above sunken cavities where a nose should be. The yellowy skin of his bald head is marked with rows of scar tissue in the shape of snowflakes. And the third and final figure is that of a naked, muscular man with long hair, handsome features of his face kind of contorted in pain and agony, and you all recognize this figure, having glimpsed a projection of him during the assembly of the armor of Kalar. Anybody within 15 feet of the rift can make me a Constitution saving throw, please, against the cold winds. So that's going to be quite a number of zombies, Dendara, and that's about it.
I mean, technically, that's me, 15.
You are just outside of 15.
Don't have to tell me twice.
25.
Shakar, that is more than enough to save against the cold yet again. And Mia, like that blast of chill kind of just stops short of you, right? And you can see the zombies below that are reaching up and grasping for Dendara freeze solid against the chill of it. Again, though, Mia, from kind of, again, you have this perspective off to the side of where this rift is formed. You can see that the air and the wind and the cold has only basically come out the front of it, as if it's like the front of a painting, right? It's two-dimensional thing in space, as the paladins, including Braun and a few zombies, Samuel and Isabel's flesh golem behind the rift are unaffected by the winds. Isabella calls out as the rift is expanding. Oh, Shakar, dear, just focus only on my beloved Kalar and nothing else. Nothing else. Okay, next initiative is Thuftamar, still atop the rubble pile. He's going to not do anything. He will try to save against being deafened, though. Fails. So he doesn't hear what Isabella said either, as, Dendara and Mia, you both see clearly Isabella saying something, but unable to understand it. And Stuff Damar's in the same boat.
Is Stuff Damar undead?
Not that you know. Next is Falzern.
Falzarin, having seen Jessica on the ethereal plane, he blinks back to the material plane, knowing that he's potentially going to be returning to the ethereal plane multiple more times with Jessica there. Very concerned. I believe Falzarin will use his ability to move 10 feet because he's also sort of surrounded by zombies and pinned up against the portal that he came through. He's going to move sort of away from the wall and to the right, and he would like to try and create a cube with Wall of Force that would roughly occupy the same place where he last saw Jessica on the ethereal plane, because Wall of Force does extend into the ethereal plane. So he's kind of gambling that he can hopefully contain her and protect himself, because he's going to be going back repeatedly to that ethereal plane and is going to be sort of defenseless against her.
Okay, so as you reappear, the echo of Shakara's thoughts kind of become more distinct and clear now that you're back on the material plane, as though you were like having a conversation right next to each other. What does continue to echo, though, in the very back of your mind are actually the hissing words of Dendar to Shakara. It's like as if you're overhearing something from an adjoining room.
I don't know, would that change what Falzarin's going to do?
Falzarin, in your, on your person again, the iron token is still like glowing blue like Dendara and still feels cold in your hand.
I feel like I'm supposed to be connecting dots here that I'm not connecting.
Just painting the picture. Just painting the picture of what's glowing and what isn't glowing. Because a lot of things to do.
You know what? I think Falzarin, as much as he is aware that he is quite frail, well powerful, but frail, and potentially at risk of taking a great deal of injury by Jessica on the ethereal plane, he's going to put others first, I think. And he thinks that Shakara and this portal is a greater concern right now. So he's still going to use Wall of Force, but he's going to cast it between Shakara and Samuel. Maybe it will disrupt this triangle of energy between Shakara and Samuel. If nothing else, he's going to try and seal off sort of the front of this picture of this portal that you've described, so that hopefully no creatures will be able to come through it onto our plane from the portal.
Okay, how large is this wall?
So I can make 10 10-foot by 10-foot panels. So depending on how tall this portal is, that will dictate how long the wall is.
It's 15 by 15.
So I would have to make 2 high, so then it would be 5 wide. So 20 feet high by 50 feet wide. And that is all Falzarin. Well, I suppose he has movement, but he's directly adjacent to this big mass of zombies. Yeah, I think he's just going to remain where he is and hope that Blink takes him back to the ethereal plane and hope that Jessica doesn't kill him on the ethereal plane.
Yeah, you were really counting on that blink working.
Well, either way, he's in danger. If he stays here, he's in danger from the zombies. If he goes to the ethereal plane, he's in danger from Jessica.
We're all in danger.
So much danger.
I'm fine. I got this.
All right. He rolled a 12 on the blink die, so he poofs back to the ethereal plane.
As you construct this wall of force, I think it's beginning almost, this wall of force is becoming more of a war cry than Blink has been for Falls, and very excellent use of this utility spell.
It's almost like a card. I kind of feel bad using it.
It kind of is, but
Yeah.
I'm going to feel bad about reversing your Uno here. As you put it up, the two sides of the triangle with Samuel at the point of it, on the other side of the wall, which we'll call it on the north side, where the rift has formed, the beams die off. It's like you're bisected the beams of the eyes that are originating from Dendara, and you can actually see an effect on the wall of force, which is something you've never really seen before. It's like as if it starts to char and burn, and it disintegrates as the beams reconnect almost immediately with Samuel.
Oh dear.
I thought I was just gonna, go through it a little.
It was the most utilitarian. Like, it was thinking about everyone as opposed to just himself. I think self-preservation is not the play here. This is for all of Aspara.
Immediately following that is Auntie Jessica.
Oh dear.
She looks delighted to see you back on the ethereal plane.
Give your auntie a big old smooch.
Yeah. But she's got a few hairs on her chin,
Falzen's
right?
in trouble.
You see that, around Jessica's neck, like she has that purple skin and those needle teeth, but she kind of wears this frayed rope of a necklace on it, and it looks like it has like an assortment of like animal fangs kind of woven into it. And she approaches you, kind of pulling it off as she does, and she just tries to slam it down on to your head.
Does Falzern have a big head like you do, honey?
So make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Advantage. Hero's Feast.
Oh, well, I rolled a nat 20 in my first roll. Wisdom is 25.
Roll again just in case. No. Just in case you crit. Wait.
Well done, as Jessica attempts to cast a Crown of Madness on you. It just kind of slams down on your head, and like the animal fangs kind of nick and braid at your scalp, braid your scalp, but you easily shake off the effects as she attempted to charm you and take control of you.
That's terrifying.
Next, Numb and Skull. They are going to kind of raise up as they're just bobbing in the air, but they raise up to 15 feet to the level of Mia. Each moving a little closer. Still kind of keeping this horde of zombies between them and Mia and Dendara. But each of them will just blast a ray of fire at you. 14, 16, 16, and a crit.
20 hits.
So only one of the 4 beams. You will take 32 fire damage, though, from the critical hit.
Ouch.
Dendara.
This is what I want to do, and you'll have to let me know how much of it I can do in one turn. I want to fly over behind the rubble wall, about 30 foot to the east, land, change back to Shakara, and put, if I can, both eyes back in both lead boxes.
Okay, well, first, are you going to attempt to communicate at all with Dendar after her words are kind of still again echoing in the back of your mind? You want to just completely ignore them?
I want to ignore them for now. I'm not going to say anything for a risk of saying something wrong.
You can absolutely attempt to fly over to the other side of the rubble pile that Thuftamar rests atop.
Can I accidentally knock Thuftamar down as I fly over?
Well, why don't you make me a strength saving throw as you attempt to fly away?
25.
Okay, you are able to move. So you move, the first 5 feet. As you do so, the beams are just stretching in length and still connecting. You're not breaking any connection as you're still attached to the tripods. But as you lengthen these two sides of the triangle, the sides of the rift also expand. So at least 5 feet they're going to expand. If you want to continue, you can certainly do so.
Okay, so if I move 5 feet away and I see it's expanding, and that's probably a bad thing. How big is the rift?
It is now 20 by 20.
How big am I?
You are also 20 by 20.
I'm going to look at Grimby and then fly into the rift. And then, if I can, revert to Shakara and put the eyes in the lead.
So you've stopped, then reassess, so you can make me another strength saving throw to it's like you do feel tethered as you were pulling away, but you're just, with the strength that you wield into your Dendara form, you were able to easily resist it. But even moving forward now, it's like you are pushing against it rather than it pulling you, right? It's like the opposite kind of side of the force.
13.
Unfortunately, that is not enough for you to move like into and shorten the beams.
Okay, so I try to pull away. It's making the rift bigger. I try and move closer, but I can't. I'm not strong enough to move closer to it. I'm 15 foot up in the air.
You see Isabella speaking again. Kala, Shakar, no, focus on Kala.
Under the assumption that if I revert back to Shakara, the tripods might fall out of me, I am going to revert in the air.
I like it. As you change, you fall 15 feet, so that's only 4 bludgeoning damage. But you fall in the middle, kind of a pack of these zombies. The tripods now still stuck. It's like they're protruding from your chest through gaps in your armor now. They're still attached to you. You're still glowing blue, and you now feel, again, once you've changed, like whatever levels of exhaustion you have, I don't know how many, you're immediately racked with them and the consequences of them. And now that you're lowered to the ground, like the triangle was almost like up at this angle, right, connecting you to Samuel as Samuel was laying atop the stone altar. But now you're like level with the ground in the middle of this cluster of zombies, and those 2 light rays that shoot off of you, right, connected to the tripods. Whatever zombies are caught in there, it looks like you get about 4 of them. Subjecting them directly to these beams, they are disintegrated, just like the wall of force.
Can I attempt to put at least one of the eyes in one of the lead boxes?
They're on the ends of 3-foot tripods that are stuck in your body.
Oh, the eyes went to the ends of the tripods?
Correct, yeah. As you transform, that's kind of what happened now. You're still now like this third side of this triangle as your body is serving as.
My arms are too short.
Yeah, it does take your action to change back.
Can I Misty Step? I'm going to try and Misty Step 30 feet away from the zombies and away from or closer to the rift. So basically behind Isabella.
Yes, you can. You can make me an Arcana check to do this.
20.
Yes, you overcome that tethering that the beams seem to have, and you successfully Misty Step.
I actually want to be like right next to the rift.
And like as you get closer, the rift shrinks. So sorry, do you want to be 10 feet from it where you are currently? Do you want to be right at its threshold?
Right at its threshold. I'm gonna be right up in its face.
Ready to be grabbed by Dendar.
It's shrunk to like a 5 by foot, like a person size rift now. All right, got anything else?
3 levels of exhaustion.
That's fun.
What does that do to you?
Disadvantage on ability checks, disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws, and my speed is halved.
Except for wisdom saving throws, which will just be regular.
Can I save against being deafened?
Yes, at the end of your turn, you can make a Constitution saving throw against the deafened condition.
With disadvantage. 13.
Not enough, unfortunately. Your ears still ringing from the concussion wave. Zombies!
How bad is your exhaustion, Emily? Like, should I be trying to fix it?
I got 3 more levels.
I already fixed you up just for you to undo it
3
already.
more levels until you're instantly dead.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's that little thing.
Those same horde that was reaching up for Dendara, she was suspended above them, now swarm on Shikara at the threshold of the rift. Although there are significantly less now, as many of them succumbed to that round of cold winds. 2 will attempt to grab a hold of you, though, Shikara, so you can make a contested athletics.
15.
Not enough to beat. Pretty good with disadvantage, but not enough to beat 19, as you are slowly started to being dragged back away from the rift as again it expands in relation to your proximity. Only 5 feet though. More attacks on Hulsa and Grimby as they are still cornered where Falzarin had kind of blinked out of the way from. 2 swipes hitting Hulsa for 7 slashing. 2 more on Grimby, 8, but he's raging, so he resists. Mia, you're next.
If I channel, which group is more important? The group by Shakara, probably, right?
I think so. That's where everything's happening right now.
Okay, so Mia is up in the air. Mia knows exactly what she could do to help Shakara out right now, seeing all the undead. She's gonna try to, move maybe 15 feet and bridge the gap and try to get as many as she can from both groups of undead. There's basically one sort of by Isabella, Shakara, and where I'm at, and then there's some over by Grimby and, you said Hulsa, right? If I move to the edge of, the southern part of these undead, putting more space between myself and Shakara, actually, but bringing myself closer to Grimby, I can reach... if I channel Divinity and destroy undead, I can destroy that whole group of zombies, and then a few close zombies from the other group. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to channel the Divinity of Thor and hope to destroy these guys.
Once again, any zombie caught within sight or sound of your 30-foot radius are just reduced to decaying dust of dusted old flesh and bone. Numb and Skull, however, are not immediately destroyed, so they're going to make their wisdom saving throw. Skull fails with a 7, and Numb gets 5. So they're frightened.
The wisdom saving throw, if they fail, it's turned for 1 minute or until it takes any damage. A turned creature must spend its turns trying to move as far away from you as it can, and it cannot willingly move to a space within 30 feet of me. It cannot take reactions. For its action, it can only use the dash action or try to escape from an effect that prevents it from moving. If it has nowhere to move, the creature can use the dodge action. And before we move on, I wanted to know if, with my Radiant Soul ability, where once per turn, I can have an attack or spell deal 12 additional radiant damage to one target, if I'm allowed to do that. Because it says attack or spell.
Your channel divinity is not an attack or a spell.
Okay.
All right, so both Skull and Numb are turned, and you obliterated a total of 37 zombies with your second channel.
Well, that's my last one, so...
Holy crap.
Gonna make me miss that pendant of legendary actions,
right?
you know?
Still leaving 21 zombies that are still surrounding Grimby and Hulsa. But the majority of this keep has been cleared out.
It puts it into perspective for the listener, because even listening back, it looks so overwhelming on Roll20 versus what we're hearing sometimes, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so that was your movement and your action. Do you have anything else you want or can do?
My spiritual weapon is out.
It is currently right next to Isabella. You had already taken a swipe at her with it.
Numb is 35 feet away, dang it. The guy that hit me. Is Kula on our team?
He hasn't really done anything but bring Isabella the scythe. He got hit by Dendara's enervating breath, but he hasn't taken any actions other than that against the party currently.
In case it does anything, let's just go for Grandmother Izzy again, and maybe it wrecks some sort of concentration, or who knows. So, let's take a swipe with my spiritual weapon at Izzy. Oh, that's a crit. 29 to hit. 21 force damage.
Good hit. That definitely hurt Isabella. At the end of your turn, you can make a Constitution saving throw to end the deafened condition.
Yes. Oh no. 10.
Unfortunately, that is not enough either. He's still deafened.
What?
All right, Isabella. Isabella moves towards Shakara. Scythe still in hand. You see she kind of grabs a hold of one of the glowing tripods. she simply just like grips it, and the blue glow kind of starts to radiate slowly up her arm as well, and she just kind of closes her eyes. And Shakara and Mia, you see again, she's clearly speaking, but the rest of those that aren't deaf can hear her just say, "Kalar, come to me. Kalar, Kalar." And she kind of releases the tripod. She takes the scythe now, and with the blade, she begins to kind of swirl it around those shattered remnants of the red containment ring when the rift had appeared. As if they're magnetized, the glowing pieces, they cling to the blade, and Isabella kind of sweeps the scythe, and she hurls the jagged debris towards the ice wall, and steam immediately begins to pour out from the contact point of 1,000 hot stabs. The ice wall creaks and groans as branching cracks begin to radiate upwards from its base. You see, instead of like, it's not clearly the cracks, they start out originating and spreading in what seems like a normal fashion, but it's like they're almost like they've been directed, and they slow down as they start spreading up the wall, and you can see that they almost like crack further and deeper into the wall itself, rather moving upwards, rather moving almost on like this horizontal plane towards Kalar at its base, where Kalar is trapped. And they widen and shift enough as they hit where Kalar is imprisoned, and he begins to stir. Just slow, kind of forceful movements at first, and that's about all the movement that he currently has. Kula is going to attempt to hold person on Mia. So can you make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
They're coming all the way over to me?
It doesn't have to move.
Can Falzarin cast counter spell?
Not on the ethereal plane.
Oh, right. Fudge. Sorry, Mia.
Yeah, first roll's a 20.
Okay. Note to self. No wisdom saves.
I have +9 to wisdom as a cleric, so it ain't bad.
Yeah, no, that's a poor target on Kula's part.
Sucks to be cool.
Yeah, and like you barely even feel the effects of it trying to like, but you just easily shake off the effects as he tries to paralyze.
I want Kula to know I kind of chuckle.
As Mia sloughs off the effects of Kula's spell, suddenly you see Mia beside you in the air. Shaft appears, having shackled in. And, well, Shaft, you kind of plummet 15 feet. You take 6 bludgeoning. But you can go ahead and make me an acrobatics to avoid being knocked prone.
21.
Okay. So you are able to land on your feet, but still a bit of an impact.
Okay, so I sort of drop down with the scimitar and short sword in hand, look back at me and go, I forgot my shackles! But while I'm here, and I take off and run towards Izzy. I have about 25 feet of movement, which is just about how far away she is from the ground around Mia. And I run up to Isabella and say, hey, I'm back! Just thought I'd even the odds. And I'm going to attack. So first with the bronze sealed scimitar, it is a 28 to hit.
Yep.
18 damage. Second attack with the short sword, that's an 18 to hit.
That hits.
Awesome. 24 points of damage. And then I will sort of slide in and try to give her one more quick poke with the scimitar.
3 attacks.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh, that's only a 14.
That is unfortunately going to miss.
And that's it for me.
Well, you just hack the 2 slashes you get in and strikes you get in, slicing through brambles on her back and into her flesh. Oh no, Shaft, I'm sorry. I gave you a chance. Now I'm going to have to kill you.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Next are the paladins. About 8 of them, including the new captain, that have lowered themselves on ropes from the deck of the previous Rising 4. A number of them charged at Shakara and Shaft. They don't strike out at Shakara, however. Only one of which can really get to Shaft. So just one attack on you. 17 to hit.
I will use Defensive Duelist, which raises my AC to 20.
Next, those close enough, which is going to be really nearly everybody except... Yeah, Falzern through the rift is a little outside of your scope from the ethereal plane, but the rest of you can see more movement in the ice wall, right? And just, again, the cracks are just splintering all the way up and across it now, spreading through this whole... across the whole surface of it. And Kalar is still shifting. It seems like he's making some more progress, basically just brute forcing his way through the weakening of the cracks in the ice wall, trying to make his way out. Hulsa, wordlessly, she simply grabs Grimby by the arm and dimension doors them both away from the last horde of zombies.
But it has a verbal component to it. Okay, sorry.
Ruthless. That's it.
I gotta make light of something in this.
If you're gonna have her cast Dimension Door,
told you, Hulsa has her own way of utilizing the weave. But she takes Grimby and herself right to the deck of the previous Rising 4. Braun is next, still surrounded by a couple zombies and 2 paladins. He has no equipment or any gear, so he can't really do much as far as offense, but he will disengage and just get away from these people. Kind of taking refuge over the top of the rubble pile that Thuftamar rests or is balanced on. Samuel. He's currently being pinned by the flesh golems, so he's going to attempt to use the strength from the armor and get out of their grip. Ooh, but clearly he's coming to the effects of whatever the triangle is doing to his part that he's playing in it. He struggles and manages to break the grip of one of them, but he's got 2 on him that keeps him steady and pinned to the altar. Grimby, now reunited with his ship. He calls, you see him yelling over the edge at the new captain down in the ground. Hey, Gilworth, you yellow-bellied bastard.
Sorry.
I tell you, when I get down there, I'll be ripping you apart. And Eladia, Reginald, Ray, Leasha, Sarah, Korg, you be better than all this. Remember what Mia did for you. And a number of the paladins now, you see some of them down that have swarmed around Shakara. They are almost like they take pause, right? And actually, Reginald was over where Braun was, but he kind of stands up taller a little. He kind of puts his weapon in the air. Praise Thor!
Yes!
Ray and Leasha.
That one.
And, after him, praise Thor! Sarah and Korg, praise Thor! All 5 of them now, for Captain Chum! And more paladins about half of them, it seems, the crew of this ship kind of join in the chorus. For Captain Chum! Oh, Captain, our Captain!
Yes. As they say it, the zombies are dying too.
Right, exactly, as everything's going on.
it.
And as the new Captain Gilworth, he's piping up, he's shouting his own commands to the paladins that haven't joined the chant for Grimby, kind of barely even being heard over the chorus of their cries and the beating of the ship. And you see that Reginald throws Braun his weapon as he draws a backup. Flesh golems, the one that Samuel broke his grip on, will continue to renew their efforts to keep Samuel in place. Back to the top. Isabella is going to use a lair action to make an attack on Shaft. She brings the scythe around. 29 to hit.
I'm gonna use a luck point. Make you re-roll that.
24.
How many times can I use luck? I got 3, but I can't use it on the same. I can't use it on the same roll again.
You must
right?
keep the second. Yeah.
Yeah, you must keep the second. That hits.
Now you're being struck with a red hot blade. You take 24 slashing. Can you make me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Oh my god, with a +8, that is a 10.
Ooh, that is a fail. You take 13 fire damage. Sustaining the opening of the rift, Shakara's movement's kind of shrinking and growing it right as she's moving back and forth. But as it remains open, it's like almost as if it starts to like stabilize itself. It's like it's no longer contained by this kind of triangle of the beams that the eyes are emitting, and it doubles in size. Luckily, though, Shakara had shrunk it, but it now doubles to 20 by 20. Clearly growing outside of the bounds of the kind of the narrow triangle that Shakara has formed by moving her body.
Is there anything we would have observed that, like, hurts it? No.
Well, I mean, the only thing that's really been done is Shakara's movements, but I mean, also you've seen Isabella grab onto the glowing tripod to interact with it in a way. She didn't get disintegrated when she interacted with that. Clearly, the eyes are on the ends of the tripods protruding from Shakara's person. So really, nobody's kind of done anything to interact with them. Thuftamar. He's going to make an Arcana check, as he's still deafened. And, okay, he gets a 15. And you see he scrambles down the rock pile, next to Shakara. And he kind of has to jump a little bit, though, but he too kind of grabs a hold of one of the tripods, and again, the glow kind of spreads to him, and Kalar, come out, Kalar.
Falzarin is going to reappear 10 feet from his last position on the material plane. He's moving slowly toward what's happening here with Isabella, Shakara, and this portal. And he is going to cast Chain Lightning. The first target will be Izzy. Second target, Thuftamar.
Oh, okay.
Third target will be... Cool is the bad one, right? Hulse is the good one. Yeah.
Excuse me? How do you not know this?
Third target, Kula. And fourth target will be the usurper of Grimby's rightful position, the new captain. Dex saving throws all around, DC 19. I've already rolled my damage to save time.
Isabella got a 16. Kula gets an 8. Thuftamar gets a 10.
Nice.
New captain gets a 3. Everybody fails.
42 lightning damage.
Woo!
Ooh. Praise
Nice.
Thor! They're like, praise
Man.
Thor, and lightning's flying. This is great. I
Wow,
love
okay.
There goes my 6th level spell slot. Hope it was worth it.
Your chain lightning originating from Isabella, doing significant damage, striking out to Kula, immediately frying him as he drops dead to the stone floor. Lancing to Thuftamar, who barely survives.
You saved him just to lighten the
Right.
grip.
And finally to the new captain who's incinerated.
Oh yeah.
I just love that you really, really wanted to give Almar another chance. You know?
He's forcing my hand here.
Fool me twice, chain lightning for you.
Yeah.
The old
Chain
saying.
on me. Chain on you.
Hey, there's room yet for a second redemption arc, okay?
He ain't dead yet.
Yeah, he's not dead yet. Okay, are you moving?
Oh, I suppose I can, can't I? I forgot I'm not beside zombies anymore. Yes. Falzarin is going to move to occupy the place that Thuftamar was at, on top of the rubble. Sort of looking down on this whole scene, off to the right.
Take the high ground.
He also wants to put some space between him and Auntie Jessica. And to see if he returns to Auntie Jessica. Oof, he does not. A 9 on the blink die. I don't know which is better, to be honest. Everything seems very dangerous.
Okay, well, that was a good turn. Jessica. She will follow you back to the material plane. You see her black fingernail, one of them she takes on the end of a long, crooked finger. It kind of begins to glow with a sickly green energy, and she just traces a circle in the air, which kind of leaves trails of crackling energy behind, like almost as if she's skywriting. And she exhales a blast of hot, putrid breath into this circle, and it swirls within it like a cloud. And she just gives it a bit of a flick with her wrist and sends the circle towards you, Falzarin. But it rapidly expands into a 60-foot radius, which does encompass Mia as well.
I was gonna say right past me. No. Let's hope it's necrotic damage.
Let's hope it's a small amount of damage. That's what I'm hoping for.
Could each of you make me a Constitution saving throw, please?
18 for Mia.
11 for Shaft.
21 for Falzarin.
Oh, Shaft is in this too. Crap.
How's Shaft in it?
60-foot radius.
Oh.
Well, I guess I better draw this out, eh?
So she
Holy
flicks
crap,
it at
that's
Falzarin, but
huge.
it's centered on me. It's like,
It is very large, isn't it?
yeah, 60-foot radius is huge.
So, this bad boy is going to hit the entire battlefield.
Oh, can she
Wow.
sculpt safety?
She will position it so she does not hit her pets, Numb and Skull, but it literally hits everybody else on the ground in the courtyard.
I am going to use a luck point then and re-roll.
22. That is with disadvantage. Got a 22 and a 23.
That's
Wow.
pretty good. Wow.
Got lucky.
I used a luck point, but it rolled a 13 on my second.
Okay, Isabella gets an 18. It will not matter what Thuftamar gets, or any of these paladins.
Oh no, my Thors.
Braun only gets a 9, so he fails you. So,
Oh no.
Save your Revivify for Thuftamar, okay? He's gonna reconsider.
Hell no.
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 Never. I was done with him as a Cain. This is something
He
else.
was my favorite when he was a Cain.
so those that failed take 38 necrotic damage.
Holy. What was the DC?
It is necrotic.
Oh, sorry, the DC was 18.
Oh, 38?
38 on fail, half is 19.
Half of that is 9.
Thuftamar immediately perishes and succumbs after being severely damaged from Falzarin's lightning bolt. Roughly, looks like about 12 paladins of cultists also just racked with waves of necrotic energy from Jessica's spell, which does include Reginald, Ray, Sarah, and Korg. Leasha is still up on the deck of the Rising Four. So those paladins that, Mia, you had revivified, fighting the rocks and the trolls on the deck of the Rising Four. It was just flying above the original paladin front line, now once again perishing with you at your side in battle. You see that Isabella appears to be unaffected.
Mia looks alright too.
Braun looks pretty hurt. Numb and Skull are turned, so they can only do the only thing they can do is dash, right?
Move away. Yep.
Run away!
For a minute. So that's round 1.
All right, they make it a beeline to open doors at the end of the keep. Shakara.
Talk to me about these rods sticking out of me. How big are they? How deep are they into me?
They are 3 feet long, and I mean, they feel like they're stuck in there pretty good, but you can certainly try to remove one.
3 feet is definitely above average.
How thick are they? Does it look like I could chop one
Like
with
girthy.
my sword?
What's the girth on
I
those?
can't handle this.
That was a perfectly innocent question. Thank you very
They're
much.
made of metal, and it's like 3 collapsed legs, like a tripod.
Okay. I want to attempt to pull one out.
You absolutely can do so. Oh man! Could you make me a Constitution saving throw as you make contact with the tripod?
You got this.
21.
All right, you avoid another level of exhaustion. Now, can you make me an athletics check as you pull it
18.
with disadvantage?
I rolled 2 10s.
Okay, excellent. As you pull on the glowing tripod, like everything you have from this, it's almost like you don't have much leverage, right, from your position, but like the glow, it starts to intensify, and like the sapping, draining energy kind of starts to course through you, which you stave off the negative effects of it. But the tripod moves an inch, 2 inches as you're sliding it out of yourself. The drain and the intensity of the light becoming almost unbearable under like this building pressure that you can feel within the structure itself. And as you rip it free of your body, that pressure just like immediately subsides as you've pulled it free before like the popping point. And one edge of the triangle is completely shut off.
I want to say to Dendar in my mind, like I don't want to vocalize it, I don't want anybody else to hear me. See how Isabella plans to betray you. She only wants her lover, not you, to be freed. Deny her. Would Falzarin hear that as well?
Now that you have pulled out one of the eyes and essentially like disconnected yourself from one of it, Falzarin, the iron token, it no longer glows and it is no longer cold to the touch.
Can I attempt to put the eye in the lead box?
Yeah, I'll let you do that.
Okay, I will. That's what I will do, and I will probably at that point fall down to my knees.
I would say so. As that one side of the triangle disappears, though, the rift does shrink by 5 feet. As the rift shrinks from your action, Shakara, you hear a response in your head from Dendar.
You are both insignificant. You both forsake me. I shall consume you both.
And that's the show. The Incorrigible Party is everywhere. I heard you can go to incorrigibleparty.com to find links to their Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Redbubble, Discord, Twitch, and Patreon. Side note, the patrons get extra like bloopers and mini campaigns just for them. All ambient sounds and music are courtesy of tabletopaudio.com, and their intro and outro music was created by Josh Jarvis. You can contact him by email at jamesmercymusic@gmail.com. The Incorrigible Party is sponsored by Critical Hit Design. Now, if you hurry, you just might be able to catch up to them.
This has been a Sounds of Steel production.